Welcome back to MCOCL Buddy Roll. So what I got a little walkthrough for you on 3-2. So wasn't recording this, so I want to show you what path right there, taking the man thing, and they're going to jump into the path, so show you that quick visual on what path I'm taking. So this is going to be a very different type of walkthrough. This isn't just to show you how to get through, but I'm actually going to do something a little different. And normally I kind of do a little bit of versatility, show you a few different champs going along the path. I'm going to show you how just one champ who's considered mid by most players. A lot of players consider this champion below mid. A lot of players screamed that this champ got nerfed during her buff, however, which I disagree with. However, I'm going to show you how OG Guillotine absolutely destroys. I know there's been a ton of people who have been struggling very heavily with 3.2 on the new January 2023 event quests, and on this we have issues as far as the difficulty changes. There's no doubt been difficulty increases, and a lot of people struggling with Thronebreaker difficulty. During this video, my goal, let's see if I'm successful or not, is to get through everything with only using 2 champs. Of those champs, I plan on using 1 champ, my little Guillotine right over here, gonna let her shine based on these nodes, and I'm going to use a different champ for the boss fight. If all goes well, let's solo every single fight, and let's get through with minimal effort. Not even any synergy teams with the Guillotine or nothing. I have other mystic options on my team, as we will see. I brought my Doom, I brought my Rentra. I bought, to be able to get through. I also bought a couple champs for the boss in case needed, as I want to be prepared. But my goal is to not use most of them. We're seeing the buffs, taking a look at the buffs, and you're welcome to go through and look at it. But bottom line, no need to get overly thorough on the explanation if we're going to go with this strategy. And even a low rank Guillotine kit, this is an R2 Guillotine, 6-star, a 5-star would work perfectly fine. Even an R1 6-star would work perfectly fine. Based on how Guillotine's kit is, and based on how the nodes, we will see how she dominates all of these fights. And most of the fights on the quest, I've also done a bit of exploration since this video on there, and there's very few fights she can't do. She can probably do 85-90% of exploration on 3.2 by herself single-handedly easily. And what we have is Power Drain. All you gotta do is, you don't have to do anything special, don't even need any specialist playstyle. I kind of mix it up. I'll generally focus more on the S3s myself, not for any real reason other than the fact that I am running Recoiler Suicide Masteries, so I'm trying to take advantage of not taking that 5% damage on recoil. Otherwise, I would probably be using S2s more. I might use an S2 here and there because I can heal based on her kit. And that's the good thing about her is we see all that green stuff coming up. I am healing it. So if I take a little bit of block damage, if I do decide to use other specials and take the recoil damage, so be it. I am running the suicide, so I am losing on the bleed and poison, but I'm healing back. And just based on the nodes, without getting too into the nodes, all you need to really know is to just keep hitting them. Take it easy. Take your time. I even take some hits here, but I'll be able to heal it back up based on Guillotine's kit. And it makes the fight super easy because they're not getting any power. Once I get going, the way the nodes interact with each other, you're always doing power drain. So you pretty much have them on permanent power lock almost, in a way, matter of speaking. Although it's not impossible for them to gain power, it's pretty dang hard with Guillotine. Other champs, not quite as easy. So the purpose of this video is partially walkthrough, but also how to kind of cheese through 3.2. Guillotine just cheeses it, makes it effortlessly. I'm also going to show you a little cheese boss fight at the end, as well is the goal if all goes well. So for those saying 3-2 is too hard, TB difficulty is too hard, just use this, get a little cheese going on. And again, the path I had chose, we saw which path I chose. It seemed like a simple path, but I didn't do a whole lot of thought into taking this path. It just seemed, okay, let's do this path. And the same strategy works on other paths very similarly, as I have done other paths since the filming of this video. I was just a little slow in going back to putting my commentary onto it. Actually, I think I've already 100% completed all of 3.2 since the filming of this initial run on there, and I use the same strategy for most of it. We're going in, we're hitting the wang, smacking them around, keeping that power drain, and the fights are so much easier when they can't gain any power. You don't have to deal about specials. You don't have to deal about dexing the specials, mistiming them, getting clipped. You don't have to deal with that block damage from the specials. You don't have to deal with a block roll. You don't have to deal with any of that garbage because they ain't getting no power. Again, based on the nodes. A lot of mystics work well, but Guillotine, OG, just completely dominant. Not just dominant, she cheeses this. She is just cheese please all over these. Smacking and dabbing on there. And even on somebody who's like bleed immune like Vision, no biggie, because I am keeping this power drain. I'm gaining those Furies based on the nodes, so the damage will increase throughout the fight. We're seeing these fights, Fury, power drain, power drain, nice. And even I might throw in some heavies, because even though he is bleed immune, I started just getting a little ahead of myself, like, you know what, let me try some heavy change of work, but all of a sudden Vision bumped up to an S1 and kind of punished me a little bit, but I can regain that health through my constant regeneration while I am doing damage to her kid. So we're seeing all these Furies, we've seen all these power drains, same thing pretty much most fights on here, and it makes it pretty easy. No real, very little strategy needed, very little much of anything needed, just keep hitting them, chilling and grilling, doing what we do, doing some sword uppercuts to the head, and then showing off that goodness as she is rocking and rolling. Gonna go down to the next fight over here. So far, so good. I haven't had to use anybody else, nor do I plan on using anybody else through completion on this. And we are going to go into the Phoenix right now. I made several mistakes. We see me take some hits. We saw me just smack dab right into an S1 a little bit ago. But you don't have to be perfect. That's why this is such a great strategy. It doesn't take long. You start off with slower and lower amounts of attack damage. But as those Furies start building based on the nodes, you start doing more. They don't gain no power. You just keep power draining, power draining. The one thing we do have to be careful on this fight is watch when you get to 1% with Phoenix, as she kind of switches over and you can get punished if you make any mistakes, if you keep going when she switches. So I'm looking there and we see how it goes through when she kind of switches, and boom, just let her melt herself. Keep in mind with Guillotine 99, even on we saw with the Vision, champs are bleed immune. If you do the heavy, it's a different type of bleed. I forget what it's called, but it can apply even to bleed immune champs, which is kind of a cool way around bleed immune champs. Moving on now to Champion. Hey, we got a good thing going with our OG. Want to see if I can cheese an entire path with her? Which I already know the answer to this, but try to keep you in suspense. Can we do it? I don't know. The drama. Oh no. And good old I just ran right into a headbutt there. I had to get a little ahead of myself and got a little eager. His headbutt seemed to go very slow that time, or maybe I was very fast, or I think I just was starting to get a little impatient and ran right into his head. Technically, that should have hurted him more than it hurt me. Think about it. His head was all the way down when I ran into it. If somebody runs into your head when it's down, it's probably going to hurt you a lot more than it's going to hurt them, correct? But that's okay. Let's try not to overthink this too much. Anyway, getting to the S3 again, there is no real good reason why I am choosing S3s over S2s or even S1s for that matter on this fight, other than I don't want to take the 5% of recoil damage because of my mastery setup. So if you don't want to do S3s, you don't have to. Okay, no biggie. It doesn't make any real difference on the fight for the most part. Just mean I have less health to recover, which is good considering the mistakes. And I'm already done with the path. Did we see that? Guillotine is still half full of health. Could have been full of health if I made a few less mistakes. And we're done. She smoked it. She does a lot of these fights for you. You want to cheese on through your 3.2 EQ right here? Just use OG Guillotine. Even if she's not ranked up, she'll get it done, dude. She'll get it done. But now let's go make this a double cheese video. Let's cheese this boss fight. Let's look through the nodes. Look through the nodes. You'll feel free to read them to yourself. You're free to look through them, all this blah, 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 blah. I just want to go for an easy cheese strategies looking through. And I did bring 2 champs for this guy just in case. And I brought my torch and my scorpion. Scorpion can work well too on this fight. I later did some fights with him on Scorpion, but Torch is well Torch against Mystics. We know how this goes. I activated my pre-fight, and I'm just going to keep it simple. At this point, wasn't too familiar with this champion that I'm fighting, his overman, his abilities, the nodes. As long as I kept a simple strategy, then we're good to go. So primarily what I'm doing is just working Torch the way he works best. I'm either doing medium, light, medium combos, and or parry heavies is really what I'm doing. I'm going to keep it simple like that. I don't know. I don't want to get aggravated. I don't want to cause any issues. So just keep medium, light, medium combos, or I'll do less once I'm trying to bait out his specials. We see his S2. I got him up to an S2, which is easy to do. Based on the notes, he'll keep doing these S2s more likely. So I do know I'm good to go based on the notes. Once I got him S2, just keep repeating those S2s. It's extremely easy to bait. We do see how easy that is to evade out of there. I've already got him almost at half health, and there hasn't been too much effort. We do see the power goes up, so I got to bait quite a bit. Jackson just trying to keep out Balo's specials. So it's really simply as do medium light mediums or heavies if you prefer. Bait out the specials. Don't get hit by the unblockable. You just got to be kind of keep a little bit of distance before it goes because it does spring to action pretty quick. So you want to have probably a step back once you are trying to bait out the specials. And again, remember, whatever special he starts off the fight is going to be the most likely the one he keeps doing throughout the fight based on the nodes. So makes the fight go a lot easier if you make that an S2 and they keep it on rolling. And we've already seen rough. So we got some massive cheese for you on this video. We cheese the entire path with OG Gilly. She smoked it, then we cheese this boss fight with Torch. So a double serving of cheese for y'all. Hope you're not lactose intolerant, Rod. Too much cheese. So there we go. That was an easy initial run completion on 3.2. Again, use this strategy for other paths. Use Torch on this boss as much as you want. Again, doesn't have to be a ranked up or high star one to work. Just use that basic strategy. And doesn't have to be high ranked up OG Guillotine to cheese through most of the fights. Hoping this helped. Don't forget to check out my other videos, my other content, my champ, how to use tutorials, my other content walkthroughs, other boss fights, blah, 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 tips and tricks. I got all kinds of goodies for you all. I aim to give you the goodies. So make sure you're going to see a subscribe button coming up on the top left in the very near future. Please make sure you click that top left icon and subscribe to Mcoc Al Bundy Rules. Check out another one of the videos coming up while you're at it.